I've lost count of the number of people who told me they love the beach, yet I spent 49 days in a row clearing up new litter from the same stretch. After the end of the project, I took a little bit of time offline and had a chance to really think, because it's starting to feel like just saying, I love the beach, doesn't really mean anything at all. A couple of days before Pesach, I incomprehensibly felt like I hadn't been doing enough cleaning recently and decided pretty much on a whim to clean the beach every day for the 49 days of the Omer. The Omer is the time after Pesach in which ancient Jews would have grown wheat which they'd carry to the temple to burn on Shavuot. Now it's the stretch of time between Pesach and Shavuot that we count. Pesach already involves a lot of cleaning, so most people don't sign up for an extra cleaning challenge for the next 49 days too. I also decided to make a video every day, and in hindsight, the filming and editing was a harder challenge. I suspect I'd have talked myself out of it if I'd given myself more time to think about it. But I didn't. I'm really glad I did it though, because these videos don't just track the litter I found, they also documented how it feels to care about a place. Over those 49 days, there were moments of joy and hope and celebration. But also there were times when I felt extremely angry or frustrated or disappointed. This is the worst. And after taking a couple of weeks offline to process things, I've realized that most of what I learned comes back to one question. What does it mean to love a place? So many people have told me they love the beach, and I believe them. But I've started wondering what we actually mean when we say that. Does it just mean that you love surfing or seafood or having a free third place to relax? If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend reading Ray Oldberg's The Great Good Place. Oldberg views third places positively as the place where we build community and belonging. But belonging and stewardship aren't the same. I think a lot of people feel a real, genuine love of the beach, but that relationship can become primarily consumption if you're not careful. Going to the beach provides us with so much, but you could take all of those benefits and never feel any responsibility to give anything back. When I started the Adopt a Beach project in January, I wanted to highlight that you can use the beach and enjoy the beach, but also develop a sense of stewardship and take some responsibility for it. That doesn't have to mean picking up litter, although I think it should. But it could also take the form of learning about species or observing the seasons or educating others. That's when the relationship changes from what does the beach give me to what do I owe this place? When I feel frustrated by people who claim to love the beach, I am not frustrated that they're having fun. I'm thrilled that they're having a great time. But I think it would be more honest if they would say, I enjoy being here instead. Unless you're a truly awful human being, you wouldn't say you loved someone if you only cared about what that person did for you. So why don't we apply that same logic to the places that we love too? Over time, I think enjoying something can lead to attachment, and that grows into stewardship. And given the nature of today's world, I think if you have a sense of stewardship for nature, you're probably going to end up as something of an activist. I suspect that's actually how many environmentalists began. Very few people just wake up one morning caring deeply about coastal ecosystems. I know I didn't. I ended up caring because I used the beach and I spent more time there and I developed an attachment and I started to form a sense of belonging, and then came the sense of stewardship. The problem isn't that so many people are at the beginning of that journey, it's that they just stop there. And I'd like to figure out a path to help people along. My beach cleans and my videos aren't just about removing litter. They're also about deepening my relationship with a place until stewardship feels like a natural consequence of knowing it well. When you're moving from using a place to developing a real attachment to it, one thing you might notice is that you'll spend more time there. And if this challenge taught me anything, it's that showing up consistently changes the way you see the world. When you return to the same place each day, you stop seeing a beach and you start seeing this beach. You notice the tides, the weather, the birds, the people, and the plants. There was one day when I finally realized I didn't even know the name of a plant I'd been seeing everywhere for years. I decided to learn a bit more about them, and it turns out Chilean sea figs are amazing. Their roots stabilize the soil, they're highly palatable to a wide range of wildlife, they're tough enough to thrive in a challenging environment. I'd been walking past them without even seeing them for like 1,000,001 times before. Similarly, there were days when the light transformed the entire beach. I think modern life, and maybe short-form content in particular, trains us to skim across the surface of things and move quickly and never take time to really dig deeper. But there is something extraordinary about going back again and again, about paying attention. Because when you pay attention, the world becomes far more interesting than you expected. Unfortunately, paying attention doesn't just reveal the beauty, it reveals the problems too. The more closely I looked, the more litter I saw. One of the most surprising things I discovered is how powerful litter blindness can be. I had previously considered myself to be pretty good at tuning into litter. I often notice things that other people I'm walking with miss. But there were places that I walk regularly, and I genuinely think of them as being clean. But when I went there to clean them, I found 20 or more pieces of litter, just because I was looking for it. I simply hadn't processed them before, but once you notice, it's really difficult to stop noticing. I found fishing line and food packaging and plastic fragments and discarded equipment everywhere I looked.
I even found this sign, which looks like it was abandoned here by the work crew who were sent to install the new one.
And it makes me angry, because we've become so used to litter that we don't even notice it anymore. We have normalized something that absolutely should not be normal. There were definitely frustrations to doing this challenge. There were days I didn't want to go, or I didn't want to film, or I just couldn't face editing. There were days I picked up so much litter that I couldn't carry it all and I had to call my friend to come and help. But it wasn't all frustrating. In fact, there was more hope than my complaining here might suggest. Partly because people watched and commented and shared, and some people even shared their own cleanup efforts, and they really seemed to care. That's huge. Perhaps you remember it was David Attenborough's 100th birthday during the challenge, and as he told us, nobody protects something that they don't care about, and obviously nobody cares about things that they don't even notice. David Attenborough has always been one of my inspirations, and his work helped me to see how fascinating and delicate and incredible the natural world is. And once I saw that, there was no going back. There was one day during this challenge when I actually couldn't find enough litter for my day's quota, and that was kind of amazing. It was a Friday, and I had pre-filmed all of the Saturday videos to give myself one day off a week, and so that meant on the following Sunday, I owed some litter from the Friday before. To put that into perspective, it was a stretch of beach that I had been cleaning pretty much every day for the whole challenge. But it just goes to show that small actions really do matter. Every single piece of litter removed is a piece that is not wreaking havoc in our oceans. Making that video reminded me that every conversation matters, and that every single person who begins to pay attention and begins to care can make a difference. The 49-day challenge may be over, but my beach cleaning project isn't. I'm going to keep coming back here and cleaning the beach and documenting what I find. On day 49, I showed you a fly tipping site that's kind of right behind me. I'm not going to show you right now how it's looking, but I'll insert some B-roll of how it looked when I first found it. And if you want to see the whole process of getting that place cleaned up, and also to find out if I actually finish it or not, come back next week. I think I'll probably share it next Friday or maybe the Friday after.
And in the meantime, if there's a place that you love, please write about it in the comments. I'd love to hear where it is and what does loving that place mean to you. See you on the beach.